Hey there! Hi. It is time for another update because it has now been over 7 months on testosterone. 7 months and 2 days. So, I'm a little scatterbrained today, so this might come off a little scatterbrained, but there's a lot to update and mostly show. So, over the past month and a half, especially 2 months, I've had a lot of rapid uh, acceleration in hair growth all over my body. So, I'm going to insert some pictures now of some of the progress that I've had because it's kind of hard to see it with this lighting, but natural lighting, a lot more obvious. So, insert now.
Wow. 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 Wow.
So there's my little slideshow of some of that progress because that has definitely been the biggest change. And like I said, it's just kind of hard to show on video, but in person, in natural lighting, it's a lot more obvious. Also, my foundation, whenever I do my makeup, which I have makeup on because I'm going to work later, it also makes it a little less obvious too. So, yeah, as you can see, I have had a lot more hair growth on my face, and I've pretty much got a full neck beard now. I love playing with it. And I think that has been the biggest factor in the fact that I have actually been getting gendered properly more at work. And what's strange is I feel like at this point I can't really predict whether I'm going to be gendered correctly or not. Honestly, like, I can be in full masculine mode, no foundation on, so you can really see my facial hair, just some eyebrows on, and in a very masculine outfit, and still get misted and mammed all day. And then I can have bright blue eyebrows and press on nails glued onto my hands and be gendered properly. I think it's mostly a cultural thing where if people kind of are more aware of the variance of gender these days, they can pick up on it. Whereas, because I work in a makeup store, we're pretty much all assumed to be women unless we very obviously like don't look like it, and I'm still not quite there depending on especially how I dress myself. But like I said, I can't really seem to predict it according to how I dress either, which is kind of nice because it does suck to like go to work and be misgendered and then just blame myself because I felt like wearing makeup that day, because my goal is to just genuinely look like any other guy who also wears makeup eventually. So I do feel like my voice has dropped just a little bit, not a whole lot though. And I'm still called ma'am a lot when people call my store, and I don't understand that. I feel like my voice is just about out of typical female range, and people are still misgendering me on the phone. I don't like that. That bothers me more than in person, because I understand that I'm confusing in person now that I'm feeling more like expressing myself again instead of sticking myself in a tiny little I have to look a certain way because I'm a trans guy box. I can just blame myself for that, but I feel like my voice is putting in the work, especially, oh my god, if you hear how I used to sound, it's pretty vastly different. The hair growth has been awesome. I absolutely love it. Super excited about my leg hair. I just recently felt confident enough to wear dresses and skirts at work with my unshaved, hairy legs. No one has said anything. Although I do expect at some point for that to happen because where I work, there's a lot of mean, older, rich white ladies who will absolutely like tell you exactly what they think about you, whether you asked or not. Especially if you don't ask, they just want you to know what they think of you. You don't want to know what I think of your outfit, ma'am. But anyways, I feel like I got a lot of bottom growth in the first couple of months, and then it slowed down, and now I feel like it's picking up again. Like, I'm impressed. I like what's happening, and you can do your own research if you find my links. And then, let's see, has there been really anything else? My acne got really bad, and I started using benzoyl peroxide, the acne foaming cream cleanser from CeraVe. And it has helped a lot. I chose that one specifically because I saw that salicylic acid like pulls things off of your face, but benzoyl peroxide, it attacks the bacteria, and also it helps with the inflammation. When I heard that it helps more so with inflammation, I was like, I'm going to go with that first, and maybe eventually add salicylic acid as well, because you can do both if you need to. But my acne was so painful. So my pores are still really congested and struggling with this new hair and new oil and everything, but the acne is way less painful now that I've been using that for a couple months. Maybe like a month. Really glad that I finally decided to. I was really hesitant to switch up my skin routine. I don't like switching my skin routine, but I clearly needed it, and I've been feeling a lot better. There's still a lot going on, especially as more hair grows in. I'm definitely someone who, it seems like, a really bad breakout in a certain area tends to precede a hair growth spurt. So it's coming with good things, but it still hurts and is definitely gonna scar, which is fine. I wear makeup anyways. So yeah. I don't think my hairline is changing much at all. I already kind of had this like spot here. I still have such a low hairline. Maybe it's finally starting to pull back a little bit, but like all of this, I have a ton of hair, if you can't tell, so much hair, and it's really not changing much at all. But I know plenty of guys who don't start to really see hair changes until like a year or so. We're only 7 months in. It's crazy because the past few months it's felt like I've been on it for like 8 to 10 months, but like it's still, I only just hit 7 because it was December 15th that I started, and July 15th just recently passed. So, body composition update. So, I went through a breakup, and I focused mostly on maintenance, volume, and progressing with little things, and now I have switched to doing proper training mesocycles with weightlifting, where I start off kind of far from failure after a deload, and then I add more sets, more volume, and closer to failure towards weeks 4 and then 5. Week 5 is hell week, and then I deload and rest. I think I've milked all my beginner gains, and I'm kind of struggling to progress at home. Unsurprisingly, there's only so much you can do at home. Honestly, you can get amazing results at home, but especially if you don't really know what you're doing and you've never been trained properly, it's not easy. So I haven't made a ton of progress, but I have made some. So I'll probably insert some pictures of my general physique, because I think the biggest thing that's changing is that I'm continuing to broaden out up here, as you can see. I'm gonna take this tank top off, but I'm wearing trans tape just to kind of show you the upper back situation. There we go. So basically, if I blow my lats out, you can see that I have gained a lot of width up here, and that has changed how clothes fit on me a lot. I guess I'll just do a general physique update. I don't think my back has changed a lot. Probably not. I'm very sore. Don't mind me. My back acne has improved a lot, though, now that I can comfortably shower after working out. It's continued to improve. I'm very sore and stiff. I've been putting a lot of work into chest exercises, and I feel like that has been paying off. I've been focusing more on presses that start further back, so it's really getting in there. Yeah, I've been happy with that. Super happy with my shoulders and triceps, as always. Always very proud of my forearms. And then, I don't know if my legs will be all that interesting, but I have been trying harder with leg day. Let's see, I'll bring it down a little bit. I feel like my thighs have gotten a little bit bigger, actually, since I started T, mostly with muscle mass and some fat as well. And then my calves have gotten a lot smaller, for sure. Which I have been, like, blasting them when I work out, so... Yeah, I'm not wearing shoes, because fuck that. You probably can't see my hair on with this lighting, but I've got a lot of it. And I'll insert pictures like I said. But, yeah, and then... So... I have had one hair growth here. My, Happy Trail is coming in, which I'm pretty excited about. And I have had some fat move to more central in my stomach, which I'm pretty excited about. But I do still have pretty strong hips and hip dips. I've always had hip dips, unless I'm very underweight, which I love hip dips on other people. To me, it's just a feminine thing. So, I mean, if they were really small, then I wouldn't care. But I still have quite a bit of flesh here, as you can see. So I am very selective about what kinds of clothes that I wear to help. Mostly, like, I don't think anyone else cares. I don't think it really even influences, because I'm small enough, you know, I'm still pretty slender. I don't think it's really affecting how people gender me. It's just a personal thing that really bothers me. So, while I continue to try and not worry about it too much, because most likely after a year or two on T, it will help that a little bit. While I try to not focus on that as much, I try to avoid the distress of seeing it and ruining my day by just being selective with things. Even though high-waisted stuff is typically more associated with, like, feminine clothing, I feel more comfortable in it most of the time. So it's kind of like, I do like, these are high-waisted shorts, and I'm just wearing them for this video, but a lot of times I do kind of like low high-waist or like high mid-waist, kind of like in between, so it's not like way up on my waist, but it's like kind of in between my hips and my waist, so it kind of covers that, as long as it covers the dip. Once again, I love hip dips on other people. Like, I love drawing them. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with them, especially, like, on any, like, femme-presenting person. I think it's, like, the most beautiful thing in the world. I hate that so many women have been taught to hate their hip dips, because it's literally just how your joints and muscles form, and it's normal. Like I said, it's just because, to me, I see them, and I'm like, oh my god, you have giant hips for a man, and I really don't. I know that I don't. It's body dysmorphia, but... Speaking of, I've made multiple long videos about updating with my body dysmorphia on T as someone who is trying to recover long-term from anorexia and also go through hormonal transition, but I just don't feel like my thoughts are fully formed yet, so I keep deleting them, and I'm like, later, you'll have more fully formed thoughts later. And they are fully formed, I just feel like the way I feel is gonna change soon, in a positive way, because I have struggled a lot. And it's not tears anymore, but it's these, like, hateful, nasty, very, like, stereotypical anorexic thoughts of, like, calling myself fat in my head and worthless and you don't deserve to eat that much and things like that, when it's like, bitch, if I ate any less, I would probably want to injure myself with the volume of working out that I do, and two, definitely not get any gains. Like, I have to at least be eating as much as I am. I'm no longer bulking. I'm just staying at maintenance. And learning to trust maintenance is so hard. And I realize now that, like, historically, that's something that I've always struggled with. I always assume I need way less than I do. And, honestly, if I don't weigh myself, I tend to undereat. I have to prove to myself that not only is it okay for me to eat as much as I'm eating, I need to, because I like the weight that I'm at. I want to stay at least here. I'd love to build some muscle on top of this, but yeah, it's been a whole thing, and I've talked a lot about it, but I'll talk more about it when I feel like I'm at a good point in time, especially because I want to put good information out there, and, you know, unfortunately, like, literally fat phobia is a part of my illness. It's one of the diagnostic criteria. So, I'm prone to these, like, really stupid thoughts that are shitty and unhelpful, and unfortunately compulsive, and they're still a part of my life. And it's exhausting, and I am considering actually seeing what therapists are in my network currently and see if there can be some extra help, because I'm kind of back to where I was the first time I recovered, where I ended up at a healthier weight, but the thoughts never ended. Every single day it was like, you're disgusting, you are awful, this is horrible, you eat way too much, you are gluttonous for eating this much, and just these terrible, awful, nasty thoughts that I was very strong with it. But the thing is that if things in life get really bad, if you go through some sort of tragedy or grief or trauma, and you're dealing with that on top of everything, sometimes you just snap. And that's what happened with my relapse, is I went through too much else in my life, and I couldn't handle these thoughts in my head every single day, all the fucking time. It got a little bit better with a couple years in recovery, but it was still so many of my days with these horrible, nasty thoughts that just made me sick to my stomach all day. And people always say that body image is last to go, and it just never went for me, and I am scared. But I would rather be healthier and stronger, and live with those thoughts than have the thoughts be slightly quieter, but in a body that's not even really strong enough to withstand a full and happy life. It feels like I can't have a full and happy life even at a healthy weight because of all the compulsive thoughts and things, but I'd at least rather be able to physically stay warm in the winter. I'm looking forward to being a healthy body mass this winter. Maybe I'll actually be willing to do things in the winter now. But I'll talk more about that another time. Is there anything else? Not really, no. I do have a blood pool coming up the next month, so I'll definitely be updating you. The biggest thing has just been that everything that started ramping up with my increase has just continued to ramp up and improve. Especially, I would say the biggest changes have been body hair, and also this kind of like trickling of body mass up into my upper body. There's a lot of selfies that I take that I'm like, oh wow, I look like that now. And I think the fact that I really fill out the upper portion of my t-shirts and stuff at work now, and all the different tops that I wear, I think that is really what is kind of like that, plus like visible facial hair, is what is causing some people to actually be able to gender me properly. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, it still feels like a lot of this is just barely beginning, but I'm very excited. I feel very blessed for my facial hair pattern, even though I'm a little embarrassed by the neck beard. I feel like I've got a really good base for what's going to happen. I've got my mustache. I've got these little cheek patches here that should eventually do something. You know, my sideburns are growing down into my jaw. The chin is pulling back into the jaw. I feel like I have a very good starting point for potentially having really nice facial hair. I'm not currently removing any of it. I'm also not dyeing it very much. It definitely doesn't have any dye left in it in the pictures I'm going to show. I think I need to buy new dye for it anyways. I'm sure the dye I was using months ago isn't good anymore. So, yeah. My voice, like I said, it's dropped a little bit more. It cracks less now, but it definitely still cracks. Singing, I still have a very narrow range. I should be practicing more, but I've been busy. Speaking of, life is going well. Life is looking up in a lot of ways in both work and my personal life. So, that's cool. Yeah. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. I love satisfying people's curiosity, so I don't mind them. Yeah, be good to yourself, and hopefully I'll be visiting you soon with some other content. I've been wanting to make YouTube videos. I've just been really busy because I've been seeing someone. So I'll see you around. Okay? Okay, bye.